Most people fail because they never make a real no turning back decision about their life. It's not enough to say, I want to succeed, or I want a better life. Those are wishes. A real decision is a commitment that shakes you to your core, a decision that removes every exit strategy, a decision that says, I will not settle for less than what I am capable of becoming. Most people drift through life making half-hearted commitments, thinking that showing up sometimes will be enough, and believing that they can change later, but life doesn't work like that. The moment you decide, your brain, your emotions, and your energy align decisions, set a direction for your physiology, for your habits, and for the opportunities that will begin to present themselves without a real decision. You will wander. You will make excuses. You will blame circumstances. You will wonder why your life is not moving forward, even though you've tried. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is the depth of their decision. Most people settle for temporary comfort, but the people who succeed choose discomfort because they understand that growth requires it. You can feel fear, you can feel uncertainty, but the decision overrides hesitation. When you make a true decision, you stop debating, you stop negotiating, and you start acting. That clarity becomes a force that drives everything else. Failure begins the moment you lower your standards. Life is not neutral. It responds to what you demand of it. If you settle for mediocrity, life will deliver mediocrity. If you tolerate excuses, procrastination, and small thinking, that is exactly what your world will reflect back to you. Most people fail because they are willing to compromise on their own potential. They are willing to accept less than they are capable of achieving because they want to avoid pain, struggle, or the challenge of change. Standards are invisible rules that govern your decisions, your actions, and ultimately your results. If your standards are low, your performance will be low, your energy will be low, and your outcomes will be low. Raising your standards is not a one-time act. It is a constant demand you make of yourself to act with integrity, courage, and purpose. People fail because they say they want more but are unwilling to change their daily habits, their mindset, and their environment. They don't push themselves to learn, to grow, or to endure discomfort for the sake of progress. Life tests you every day in small ways. And if you fail in the little things, the bigger victories will always slip away. Standards create a framework for success. They determine what you accept, what you reject, and how you respond when life challenges you. Most people fail because they are reactive instead of proactive, passive instead of decisive, and compliant instead of demanding excellence from themselves. When you refuse to lower your standards, when you make a decision that defines who you are, your life begins to shift. Your focus sharpens, your energy intensifies, and you begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You begin to act from a place of clarity and purpose, instead of drifting aimlessly and reacting to the world around you. Success is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in the small decisions and actions you take every single day. Most people believe that success is something that happens overnight, that a single opportunity or a lucky break will define their future. But the truth is, far from that, success is a process, not an event. It is created in the invisible moments, the choices you make when no one is watching, the habits you form when the results are not yet visible, and the consistency with which you take action even when it feels tedious or unrewarding. Every small decision compounds over time. The person who decides to invest in themselves, to learn a new skill, to push just a little harder each day, is the person who creates momentum. Momentum is the secret force behind breakthroughs. It begins quietly, almost imperceptibly, but it builds until it becomes unstoppable. Most people fail because they underestimate the power of small, repeated actions. They wait for motivation, inspiration, or the perfect timing, and in doing so, they miss the countless opportunities to move forward consistently. True success comes from understanding that what you do daily matters far more than the grand gestures you imagine. People say they want success, but their habits say they want comfort. Words are cheap. Everyone can say, I want to be successful, or I want to live an extraordinary life. But the question is, what are you doing to make it real? Your habits, your environment, and your choices reveal your true desires far more than your words ever could. Most people fail because they are willing to compromise daily. They compromise their health, their time, their focus, and their energy for short-term comfort or temporary pleasure. They scroll, procrastinate, and avoid challenges because it feels easier than growth. The paradox is clear. The life you claim to want is waiting on the other side of discomfort. Growth always requires effort, persistence, and a willingness to step into uncertainty. If you avoid it, life will continue to deliver the same results, day after day. Success is not something you are given. It is something you earn through repeated, intentional actions that align with your highest standards. Another truth is that most people fail because they confuse activity with progress. Being busy does not mean you are moving forward. It only means you are occupied. True progress is measured by how your actions move you closer to your goals, not by how full your schedule is. Most people spend years reacting, responding, and floating through life, thinking that effort equals results. But results come from focus, clarity, and strategic action. You must ask yourself, are the things I am doing today actually producing the life I say I want? Or am I simply choosing the path of least resistance? Habits reveal priorities, and priorities reveal your destiny. If you want success, you must audit your habits, identify the ones that serve you, and ruthlessly remove the ones that don't. Surround yourself with people, ideas, and environments that elevate you, and commit to actions that compound over time. Success is a result of these intentional daily choices, and nothing else. The combination of consistent daily action and aligned habits creates unstoppable momentum. Most people fail because they wait for external forces to change. They hope for easier circumstances, or they chase fleeting motivation. But life rewards those who take responsibility, act decisively, and remain unwavering in their standards. Every small choice matters, and those who understand this principle begin to live lives that far exceed their initial expectations. Fear is not the enemy. Avoidance is most people fail because they let fear control their lives. Not because fear exists. Fear is a signal. It tells you where your growth is waiting. Every breakthrough in life begins at the edge of fear, in the moments where uncertainty and discomfort are unavoidable. Yet most people shrink away. They negotiate with fear, rationalize it, and convince themselves that safety is more important than growth. They avoid challenges, avoid rejection, avoid the risk of failure, and slowly, without noticing, they build a cage of their own making. Fear becomes the invisible barrier between who they are and who they could be. The truth is, fear is not something you can eliminate. It's a constant companion in the journey toward growth. The difference between those who succeed and those who fail is how they respond to it. The people who succeed lean into fear. They take action despite uncertainty. They make bold decisions even when the outcome is unknown. And in doing so, they build courage, resilience, and momentum that fear alone could never break. Every time you face fear, you expand your capacity to handle life's challenges. You transform what once paralyzed you into a tool that fuels your progress. Most people fail because they are unwilling to endure that initial discomfort. And so they remain small, limited by what could have been. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline carries you when it disappears. Most people fail because they wait for motivation to appear instead of cultivating habits and systems that sustain them, regardless of how they feel. Motivation is like fire. It burns bright for a moment and then dies out if not fueled. Discipline, on the other hand, is like steel. It holds no matter the circumstances. The people who succeed are not the ones who feel inspired every day. They are the ones who show up consistently even when they don't feel like it. They take action in boredom, in fear, in uncertainty, and in exhaustion. They don't wait for perfect conditions or the ideal emotional state. They act first. And the energy follows. Most people fail because they confuse feelings with action. They say, I'll do it when I feel ready, or I'll start tomorrow when I'm motivated. That mindset guarantees stagnation. True success requires creating systems and routines that remove reliance on fluctuating emotions. It requires developing an identity that says, I'm the type of person who takes action no matter what. When you combine discipline with a clear vision and high standards, motivation becomes a byproduct, not a prerequisite. Most people fail because they chase temporary inspiration instead of building the enduring structure that sustains results. Discipline bridges the gap between dreams and reality. It turns vision into tangible progress, it turns decisions into consistent habits, and it carries you through moments where emotion alone would falter. Most people fail because they refuse to take full responsibility for their lives. Blame is a comfortable escape, a way to avoid the discomfort of growth and accountability. They blame the economy, their family, their past, or their circumstances, and in doing so, they give away the only power they truly have, the power to change. Responsibility is not about guilt or punishment. It is about control. The moment you accept that your life is entirely your responsibility, everything changes. When you stop blaming, you stop waiting for permission, for luck, or for the perfect moment. Responsibility means that your decisions, your actions, and your results are yours and yours alone. Most people fail because they want success without the discomfort of responsibility. They want results without effort, recognition without contribution, and freedom without discipline. But the truth is that taking full ownership of your life creates clarity, focus, and momentum. It allows you to stop reacting to the world and start shaping it. It is the foundation on which all lasting achievement is built. The more you embrace responsibility, the more empowered you feel, and the more capable you become of creating extraordinary outcomes. Another reason most people fail is because they lack clarity about what they truly want. Many chase goals that are defined by others or by society, money, approval, status, without ever understanding what will give them real fulfillment. Without clarity, you wander aimlessly, reacting to whatever circumstance appears and settling for outcomes that are far below your potential. Clarity is not just knowing your goal, it is understanding the why behind it, the purpose that drives your actions when motivation fades. People who fail often pursue empty objectives because they confuse desire with necessity. They want results, but they don't have a compelling reason to endure the sacrifices required to achieve them. When you're clear about what you want and why you want it, obstacles become lessons, setbacks become temporary, and discomfort becomes fuel. Clarity creates focus, and focus creates results. Without it, your energy dissipates, your habits weaken, and your progress stalls. Most people fail because they allow confusion and distraction to dictate their actions rather than designing their lives with intention and purpose. Consistency is another critical factor that separates those who succeed from those who fail. Most people quit too early, expecting immediate results or overnight transformation. They underestimate the compounding power of small, consistent actions over time. Growth is often invisible at first, like a seed buried in the soil, slowly developing roots before sprouting. The people who succeed understand this principle. They persist through the invisible stages, trusting the process and maintaining the habits that will eventually produce extraordinary outcomes. Most people fail because they chase instant gratification. And when they don't see immediate evidence of progress, they give up. Success is a marathon, not a sprint, and it rewards patience, persistence, and disciplined repetition. Those who consistently act in alignment with their purpose, even when the results are not yet visible, create unstoppable momentum and begin to achieve outcomes that most people can only imagine. Your environment also plays a critical role. Most people fail because they are influenced by negativity, doubt, and small thinking, energy, beliefs, and standards are contagious. And if you surround yourself with people who do not support your growth, your potential is limited. You must choose associations that elevate your thinking, challenge your limits, and inspire your actions. Environment amplifies identity and reinforces habits. If you neglect this factor, your efforts will be diluted and your progress will stall. Those who succeed intentionally design their environment to support their vision, creating conditions that make success inevitable rather than optional. Most people fail because they never truly commit to becoming the person they need to be to achieve their goals. They make wishes, set goals, and even take action for a while, but they never fully integrate the mindset, habits, and identity necessary to sustain success. Life doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you believe you are. If you think of yourself as someone who can't persist, someone who is unlucky, or someone who doesn't deserve more, then no strategy, no skill, and no opportunity will be enough to change your results. Your identity drives your behavior, and your behavior creates your outcomes. Most people fail because they act inconsistently with the person they claim they want to be. They say, I want success, but they live as if they are willing to accept mediocrity. The human brain craves alignment. When your actions are inconsistent with your identity, stress, frustration, and confusion arise. And eventually, your lack of alignment erodes any chance of sustained achievement. Another reason people fail is they overestimate the role of luck and underestimate the role of standards and preparation. Most people wait for the right moment to act, hoping that circumstances will magically align, when in reality, life rewards preparation, commitment, and relentless effort. Standards define what you will accept in life and what you will reject. When your standards are low, the world will reflect that back to you. You will tolerate excuses, mediocrity, and distractions. You will settle for less because you have trained yourself to accept it. Raising your standards changes everything. It affects the decisions you make, the actions you take, and the people you allow into your life. Most people fail because they are unwilling to raise their standards high enough to match the life they desire. They aim for comfort, convenience, and safety instead of growth, challenge, and fulfillment. Growth demands that you do what is uncomfortable, push beyond what is familiar, and stretch your capacity to handle life at a higher level. Clarity is another element that separates those who succeed from those who fail. Many people fail because they do not know what they truly want. They chase money, recognition, or approval without understanding the purpose behind it. Goals without purpose are weak. They are easy to abandon when challenges arise. Purpose fuels persistence, transforms obstacles into lessons, and gives meaning to the sacrifices required to achieve success. When you are clear about what you want and why you want it, your energy focuses, your decisions simplify, and your actions align with your highest priorities. Without clarity, people drift, react, and follow external cues instead of their own compass. Most people fail because they let confusion dictate their actions, settling for whatever is easiest and drifting through life without a strategy or direction. Clarity amplifies focus, and focus amplifies results. When you combine clarity with massive action, your potential multiplies and opportunities begin to appear that others overlook. Persistence is often the hidden differentiator between success and failure. Most people give up too early because they expect immediate results or instant transformation. They underestimate the compounding effect of repeated effort over time. True growth is often invisible at first. The seeds you plant today through learning, practice, and disciplined action take time to produce visible results. The people who succeed understand this principle and keep going when no one is watching, when no one believes in them, and when circumstances are challenging. Consistency in action, even when progress seems slow or invisible, creates momentum that eventually becomes unstoppable. Most people fail because they seek quick wins, instant gratification, and visible validation. They quit before the invisible work bears fruit, and in doing so, they rob themselves of extraordinary outcomes that are just beyond persistence. Most people fail because they allow fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs to control them. Fear is not something to avoid. It is a good deed post for where growth is required. Fear signals opportunity, the edge of your potential. Avoiding fear, shrinking from challenge, or negotiating with discomfort guarantees stagnation. People fail because they react to fear instead of leveraging it. The courageous act is to move toward fear, to take action despite uncertainty, and to treat every challenge as a chance to grow. Limiting beliefs, formed over years of conditioning, silently dictate decisions and behavior. They are the invisible walls that prevent progress. To succeed, you must identify these beliefs, challenge them, and replace them with empowering truths that align with your highest standards. Most people fail because they allow their past, their environment, and their fears to dictate their future instead of consciously shaping it. Another reason people fail is because they neglect the power of their environment. Humans are influenced by the people they associate with, the messages they consume, and the energy they absorb daily. Most people are surrounded by negativity, doubt, and small thinking, and over time, this environment shapes their habits, beliefs, and results. Your environment can either amplify your potential or suppress it. Those who succeed intentionally cultivate environments that support growth, surround themselves with people who challenge and inspire them, and remove influences that reinforce mediocrity. Most people fail because they remain passive about the company they keep, the energy they allow into their lives, and the ideas they feed their minds. The environment you choose directly impacts your standards, your beliefs, and ultimately, your destiny. The truth is, life does not reward good intentions, wishful thinking, or fleeting effort. Life rewards clarity, action, persistence, and the courage to make decisions that define who you are. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the right moment, for the perfect opportunity, for something external to finally align before they decide to live at their highest level. But that moment will never come unless you create it. Success, fulfillment, and extraordinary results are not given. They are earned through commitment, preparation, and relentless action. Every choice you make, every habit you form, and every belief you hold shapes the trajectory of your life. If you want different results, you must change the input. You must change who you are, what you demand of yourself, and how you act in the face of fear, uncertainty, and discomfort. Most people fail because they underestimate the power of their identity. They chase results without first becoming the kind of person who can sustain them. You cannot act outside of who you believe you are. If you believe you are someone who procrastinates, avoids risk, and tolerates mediocrity, no strategy, coach, or opportunity will ever overcome that identity. Your results will always mirror your self-concept. That is why the most powerful lever in your life is your belief about who you are and who you can become. When you shift your identity, when you make the decision to become the type of person who takes massive action, who persists through setbacks, who embraces responsibility, who raises their standards, you create an unstoppable force that propels you toward your goals. The actions you take as that person align naturally with your identity. Your energy rises and momentum builds until extraordinary results are inevitable. Responsibility is the foundation of this transformation. Most people fail because they blame others, their circumstances, or the world for their lack of progress. Blame is seductive because it excuses inaction, but it robs you of power. Every time you point a finger outward, you give away control over your life. True freedom comes when you accept that your life is 100% your responsibility. It does not mean you caused every challenge or that you are to blame for every hardship. It means you have the power to respond, to adapt, and to shape your life according to your choices, not your circumstances. Responsibility is not a burden, it is liberation. The moment you take ownership, you stop waiting, you stop complaining, and you start acting with purpose. The moment you embrace responsibility, you realize that no one else can define your life but you. Clarity amplifies the power of responsibility. Many people fail because they do not know what they truly want. They chase money, approval, or status without ever understanding why. Goals without purpose are weak. They are easily abandoned when obstacles arise or discomfort sets in. When your why is strong enough, your actions gain direction, your focus sharpens, and your energy ignites. Purpose transforms pain into fuel, setbacks into lessons, and challenges into opportunities. Without clarity, people drift, react, and settle for outcomes far below their potential. Those who succeed define exactly what they want, why they want it, and what they are willing to give, endure, and sacrifice to achieve it. Clarity eliminates indecision, focuses energy, and aligns your actions with your highest priorities. Fear and doubt are unavoidable companions on the path to success, but they are not enemies. They are guides. Most people fail because they let fear dictate their actions. They shrink, they hesitate, they negotiate with discomfort, and they convince themselves that safety is more important than growth. Fear is simply a signal that you are moving towards something significant, that you are stretching beyond your current limits. The people who succeed do not avoid fear, they act in spite of it. They understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to move forward anyway. Every time you act despite fear, your confidence grows, your resilience strengthens, and your capacity expands. Those who fail allow fear to shape their decisions, shrink their vision, and limit their potential. Those who succeed treat fear as a compass, guiding them to areas of growth and opportunity. Consistency is the bridge between goals and results. Most people fail because they quit too early, expecting immediate rewards or visible outcomes. Growth is often invisible at first. The work you do today may not produce tangible results tomorrow, but the compounding effect of repeated action over time is enormous. The people who succeed understand, but persistence and disciplined effort outweigh talent, luck, or temporary inspiration. They show up even when it feels boring, tedious, or discouraging. They act when no one is watching, when circumstances are difficult, and when the results are not yet visible. They understand that success is rarely an event. It is the accumulation of small intentional actions taken consistently over time. Most people fail because they lack patience, underestimate the invisible work, and abandon their efforts before the breakthrough occurs. Your environment either elevates you or limits you. Most people fail because they remain in environments that reinforce mediocrity, negativity, and small thinking. The people, places, and messages you allow into your life shape your beliefs, standards, and energy. To succeed, you must surround yourself with those who inspire growth, challenge your limits, and demand excellence from you. You must protect your mind from negativity and feed it with empowering ideas, models of success, and standards that elevate your performance. Your environment is not a passive factor, it is an active amplifier of your identity, habits, and results. Those who intentionally design their environment create conditions in which success is inevitable rather than optional. Action is the ultimate differentiator. Most people fail because they wait for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, or the perfect level of confidence. Life does not wait, and opportunities do not pause until you feel ready. Action generates clarity, momentum, and courage. Action transforms fear into confidence, obstacles into lessons, and ideas into results. The people who succeed take massive, immediate action, regardless of uncertainty or fear. They understand that movement produces progress, and progress compounds into extraordinary outcomes. Those who fail remain passive, hesitant, and reactive, allowing life to pass them by. When you combine clarity of purpose, full responsibility, unwavering standards, courage in the face of fear, consistent action, and an empowering environment, extraordinary results become inevitable. Most people fail because they neglect one or more of these principles, settling for comfort, excuses, and mediocrity. Those who succeed integrate these truths into their identity and daily habits. They cultivate resilience, momentum, and mastery over their emotions, decisions, and energy. They understand that life rewards those who decide, act, persist, and refuse to compromise on who they are becoming. The life you desire is available, but it is not given. It is created, earned, and lived intentionally. Success is not a mystery. It is a series of principles applied consistently, courageously, and relentlessly. The people who fail live reactive, accidental lives. The people who succeed live lives of purpose, mastery, and contribution. Your destiny is not determined by luck, timing, or circumstance. It is determined by the decisions you make today, the actions you take daily, and the standards you refuse to lower. Most people fail because they give away their power, delay their decisions, and avoid growth. Those who succeed embrace responsibility, clarity, courage, consistency, and relentless action. And in doing so, they create results that are far beyond what they once thought possible. The difference between failure and success is not in your circumstances, it is in your decisions, your standards, your habits, and your identity. Most people fail because they wait, they compromise, and they let fear dictate their choices. Those who succeed decide, act, persist, and align every part of themselves with their highest vision. The path to success is always available, but it requires commitment, courage, and the willingness to become the person capable of achieving it. Your life is a reflection of the decisions you make and the actions you take. Most people fail because they act inconsistently, let fear control them, and settle for less than they are capable of achieving. Those who succeed integrate every principle: clarity, responsibility, persistence, courage, environment, and massive action into a cohesive strategy of identity, behavior, and results. The life you dream of is waiting on the other side of fear, discomfort, and unwavering commitment.